Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Peter Murphy begins now.
Good evening, everyone. One of Tasmania's richest people, Jan Cameron, is facing criminal charges. The corporate watchdog ASIC is accusing her of breaching federal laws for failing to disclose her true interest in local infant formula business Bellamy's.
The normally reclusive multimillionaire Jan Cameron is set to face the Hobart Magistrates Court next month. The founder of Kathmandu and former owner of Chicken Feed is facing 2 charges under the Corporations Act. ASIC is accusing her of failing to disclose her true interest in Launceston-based Bellamy's. It alleges she, along with an entity called Black Prince Foundation, held 14 million shares in the company, a 14% stake. But the charges claim she failed to disclose this substantial holding in 2014. ASIC also alleges later in 2017 Jan Cameron did lodge a notice of substantial holding, but this was misleading. In that same year, she and the foundation led a dramatic shareholder revolt against the board managing Bellamy's. Now, one of the charges comes with a possible fine of up to $5,000 and 6 months jail. The other, making a false or misleading statement, comes with a maximum $42,000 fine and potentially up to 5 years jail. 7 Tasmania attempted to contact Miss Cameron but was told she was unavailable.
One person is dead and another is in a serious condition after a 2-car crash at Sassafras. Police say one of the drivers crossed onto the wrong side of the Bass Highway. Our reporter Sean McComish has more.
Emergency services were called to the Bass Highway near Sassafras around 5:30 yesterday afternoon following reports of a head-on crash. Police say a northbound Nissan Navara crossed onto the wrong side of the road, colliding with a Toyota Hilux heading south. The impact claimed the life of a 54-year-old man from Devonport, while the Toyota driver, a 44-year-old man, was airlifted from the scene to the Royal Hobart Hospital. He's now in a serious condition.
Very horrible, and it's certainly unfortunate this has occurred, and we'll certainly try and get the investigation sorted as quick as we can and then prepare a report for the coroner.
The highway was closed for 5 hours as hundreds of cars were diverted from the major highway. Some struggled to heed the message.
Stop! 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 Stop!
Motorists are being reminded of new laws restricting speed to 40 kilometres around emergency services.
I understand, speaking to the members here, that there's been a couple of vehicles that have gone through the scene quite quickly and they've been spoken to appropriately.
Investigators now want to speak to any witnesses who may be able to shed light on the tragedy.
Police investigating the death of a man on Hobart's waterfront have placed charges over a separate incident. The body of Jared Davies was found off Elizabeth Street Pier after he went missing during a night out last weekend. Police say their investigations have uncovered he was involved in an altercation at the Observatory Bar before he disappeared. A 28-year-old Geilston Bay man has been charged with common assault over that incident. Police say it's separate to Mr Davies' last moments and his death was not being treated as suspicious. Advocates are pleading with the government to overhaul Tasmania's rental rules in the wake of an extensive parliamentary inquiry. A sweeping set of recommendations has called for limits to Airbnb, flexibility for pet owners and consideration of a cap on rent rises as the state's housing crisis continues.
Setting up a safe and secure bed, a welcome change for these men who've spent much of their lives on the streets.
You try to get on top, but at the same time it falls apart again because you don't have the right structure.
It's really hard to get a house here at the moment, so without this place, it would be on the streets.
Thanks to a new pilot program, every night this room is transformed into the Safe Night Space, accommodation for 15 people who would otherwise have nowhere else to go. 2 months in, it's in high demand and already changing lives.
People are actually starting to get involved with wanting to do rehab, with wanting to do detox, with engaging with families that they may have been estranged from.
It's been hailed a success, but Tasmania's housing crisis is far from over.
We've not had homeless people on our street before like we've seen over the last winter and are continuing to see.
Rents are just going skyrocket. To live in Tasmania these days, you're looking around 500, just maximum amount of rent.
A new housing affordability report making 61 recommendations for widespread change, including a freeze on Airbnb permits and making things easier for renters with pets. Also, a cap on rent increases, but the government says this would be a complex change to implement.
We need more houses to be available for rent. We need it to be more attractive for people to build and make available houses for rent in the private market. So that's what we've got to balance very carefully.
The tightening of that private rental market means that with uncontrolled increases in rental, people are finding that more and more unaffordable.
The government will now consider each of the recommendations. Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
If you think something can't be recycled, it might be time to think again. Units like this one at the Campbell Street TasTAFE campus are popping up across the state for people to dispose of specific items like light bulbs, toner cartridges and old x-rays. Many of the items accepted can be turned into new products, so it's hoped that these cabinets will help reduce waste sent to landfill.
You don't want to put them in the rubbish because you don't want to add to landfill. You can't recycle them. So what do you do with them? And that's why we've got these special cabinets.
The recycling units are available in Hobart and Launceston. It's taken 4 months of gruelling training, but 13 men and women have today officially become Tasmania's newest firefighters. The class showed off their new skills at a special graduation ceremony before they hit the ground running, beginning their careers on Monday.
They've come from all different walks of life, united in their desire to serve the Tasmanian community. 11 men and 2 women, now ready to respond to those in need.
Truck ready and protecting the people of Tasmania, whatever's thrown at them, whether it be bushfires, structure fires, hazmat, road crash. That's what we do.
Relatives and friends on hand today as this Tasmania Fire Service class officially graduated. Plucked from over 700 applicants, the group has been pushed to its limits to prepare for a job with extreme challenges.
Certainly been one that's involved a lot of sweat. It's been extremely hot at times down here, which has been really good for us because we do try to build resilience.
Simon Dawkins swapped a career as an auto electrician to pursue his dream. His efforts rewarded, named Dux of the graduating class.
Didn't expect it at all. Couldn't have done it with all the other team around me, all the other trainees helped me out. The team was awesome. Trainee firefighters that I had with me.
Recruits will begin work on Monday as the threat of bushfires continues to linger.
We've got 6 going to Hobart, 5 to Launceston and 1 to Burnie and Devonport each station, so each of our career fire brigades have got new blood.
Those interested are encouraged to start their journey at this weekend's Come and Try event.
They get a chance to look at that and better prepare themselves. We want to give people every opportunity they can to get through our selection process.
Really enjoy the teamwork aspect of it and the challenging career. Always out doing something, you just don't stop.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Anti-forestry protesters have targeted a Smithton timber plant today, attaching themselves to equipment and refusing to leave. Police arrested 4 of the Bob Brown Foundation activists for trespass. The action has been condemned by the owners of the plant and the government. Tasmania Police say it appreciates people having a democratic right to protest, but this sort of action diverts their resources. A trip to the supermarket for last-minute essentials could be a thing of the past, with a new Tasmanian service promising to deliver groceries to your door within 2 hours. For now, the service is only available in a few select suburbs, but could be rolled out across the state if the trial is successful.
Carolyn Turner has worked at the Woolworths store in Sandy Bay for 25 years. She's seen a lot of change in her time, but some things, like the most commonly purchased items, remain the same.
Bananas, bread and probably nappies.
In recent years, Carolyn has started working as an online packer. Her job's set to expand with a new offering. The Deliver Now service launching this week, promising deliveries to your door within 2 hours, but it does come with a $19 fee. It's targeted at those who are time poor, needing items fast, such as people with unexpected guests and families.
Dips, cheese, chips are very popular, but then also those urgent items for families, nappies, cold and flu, medicinal.
Rolling out across 2 Hobart stores as a trial, approximately 70,000 Tasmanians from suburbs like Newtown and Tolmans Hill can test it out. If it's successful, Woolworths says it's looking at rolling the service out across the state.
We don't have a time frame yet, but we will look at other opportunities up in the north of Tasmania and also down here in the south.
They're promising to provide customers with only the freshest produce, with Carolyn treating each order as if it's her own.
If I wouldn't buy it for myself, I wouldn't give it to a customer, because we like the freshest and untarnished, everything to be perfect.
Ebony Ablett, 7 Tasmania News.
The North Melbourne Tasmania Kangaroos are hoping an up-and-coming Launceston talent will give them an edge in tomorrow's AFLW clash against GWS. Abby Green will make her debut on home soil at UTAS Stadium, and she'll have plenty of supporters cheering her on.
The idea of playing in the AFLW was only a dream when Abby Green first pulled on the boots 4 years ago, but tomorrow it will become a reality.
I'm extremely excited to get out there and debut here at UTAS.
Years of hard work and sacrifices all justified with a phone call from the head coach.
He gave me the call and just wanted to congratulate me, which was so exciting, and then I called my mum and she burst into tears.
Not long ago, she was playing just up the road for Launceston, but tomorrow she'll run out on the park for the blue and white at UTAS Stadium. But she knows it'll be tough against the giants of GWS.
GWS have 3 fairly tall ruckmen, so it'll be good to get against some strong bodies and have my stronger body out there.
The Kangaroos this afternoon finalising preparations. They're coming off a loss last week, while GWS enter the clash with a victory in the bank. Abby says she's not nervous at the thought of playing in front of a packed crowd.
I'm feeling in form, the best I've felt in a while, the fittest I've been in my football career.
Many of whom will be her own friends and family cheering her on.
So I think I've got about 20 to 30, but then I've got all my close friends, so I should get a fairly decent crowd. I've got so many messages that they'll be here tomorrow, so it's very exciting.
Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
The Tasmanian Tigers have been rolled for their 3rd lowest total in Sheffield Shield history on the first day of its clash against Queensland. There were barely any highlights for the away side. Charlie Wakeham top scoring with just 11 as the Bulls' attack tore through the top order.
After days of heavy rain hammered Queensland, it was no shock a green deck was served up at the Gabba. The toss favoured the home side, electing to bowl first, and the bold move immediately paid off.
Again, that one's right on middle stump, he peeled and he's got through. Nisa makes the...
Jordan Silk gone without scoring in the first over. Soon Alex Doolan was also back in the pavilion.
Picked the edge and he's gone.
Jake Doran and Charlie Wakeham held firm in a testing period where the run rate barely climbed above 2. But the Queensland attack were relentless on a bowler-friendly wicket, dismantling the middle order. Captain Tim Payne's return to Shield cricket, lasting just 5 balls.
Again, whips out the... Oh, what a catch! An absolute scream of the skipper's on his way!
The Tigers losing a further 3 wickets in as many overs. Queensland paceman Mark Steckety delivering the final blow.
There's one that's jumped up again. That's the end of the Tigers.
78 all out, Tasmania's 3rd lowest total in Sheffield Shield history. Just as alarming, 30 of the runs were extras. In reply, the Bulls batsmen showed no similar discomfort, and before stumps they had already passed the Tigers' first innings score. Day 2 continues tomorrow. Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanian sprinter Jack Hale has bounced back at the Canberra Track Classic after a disappointing disqualification for a false start in the 100 metres. The 22-year-old was instrumental in the Australia A men's 4x100 relay team, who breezed over the line in the first place, putting Olympic selectors on notice.
You've got to think we have 8 guys here that are all running much quicker than 10.5, and that's something we haven't had in the past. So it's going to be tough gig for selectors.
Just weeks ago, Hale recorded one of the fastest sprint times of the year.
Good evening. It was a humid and overcast day over much of Tasmania today. A high of 27 in Launceston, Hobart 26, 24 in Devonport, Burnie, a high of 23. Strahan 28, a high of 23 about St Helens and Friendly Beaches, and 27 in Flinders Island. On the close-up shows a mix of high, mid and low-level cloud across Tasmania. Further out, patchy cloud with showers persist over eastern Australia, while a low-pressure trough extends across northern Australia. Tomorrow shows a high-pressure system moving over Tasmania, while surface troughs and lows are still about the mainland. East to north easterly winds 10 to 20 knots tomorrow, swells up to 1.5 metres in the west and south and up to 1 metre in the north. A strong wind warning is current for western, northern and eastern coastal waters from Low Rocky Point to Tasman Island. Tomorrow's forecast now: Hobart 19 with showers easing, 21 in Medina, showers clearing in Oatlands. In the north, showers developing in Launceston, Devonport 24, showers clearing in Lyowini. Showers developing in Burnie tomorrow, Strahan morning showers, 21 in Marrawar. St Helens 20, Swansea showers easing and Orford 21. The UV forecast very high 9s across the state. Looking ahead to the 3-day forecast: Sunday showers about the northwest, fine elsewhere. Monday fine with easterly winds becoming light, and Tuesday showers developing about the north and west. Capital cities are partly cloudy, 28 at Perth tomorrow, Adelaide a high of 24 and possible showers at Brisbane. And currently Hobart cloudy and 25, Launceston 24 and Devonport cloudy and 21. That's all in weather tonight, Murph.
Thanks very much, Jackie, and thanks for your help during the week this week. I hope you've all enjoyed Valentine's Day. It's my wife Donna and my wedding anniversary tomorrow night, so I've got to do 2 days of romance. I think I'll get it through it. Thanks for being with us this week. We'll have updates later, and I'll join you next week. Bye for now.